All right, without wasting much of our time, I want this to be a very fast class. So, good morning, everyone. We'll be starting this class now. So far, we only have how many of you? Just two of you are in this class presently, Salimon and Ololade. So, we'll be starting now, and if anyone wants to join, they can join along the line. So, can you hear me clearly and can you see my screen also? Do you want to say something, Salimon?
I can see your screen and your voice is audible.
Okay, all right. So we'll be starting this class now. And by the way, all right, you are welcome, Ahmed. So has any of you gone through the application, the PG admin I asked you to install? Have you downloaded it? Have you explored it? Do you have any questions concerning it from our last class or anything? Please, you have to say something. You can't be in this class and not say anything.
Trying to explain. So did you get that?
I said concerning our last class, I told you guys to install PostgreSQL, PG admin, and we did the introduction to the interface in the last class. So I'm asking if any of you have maybe a question from the last class, or maybe you've just tell me, like, have you downloaded it? Have you explored the interface, or do you have any question concerning it?
I said I don't have any question. I'm still trying to explore the entire application itself.
Okay. All right. Who is this? You are welcome, Victoria. Good morning. Good morning, Victoria. Please, I have to know if you are hearing me, because it looks like I'm the only one just talking to myself. You guys are not cooperating.
Good morning, ma.
Yeah, good morning. I said, have you downloaded the application I told you guys to install, and have you gone through it?
No, I've not.
Okay, no problem. I've heard. But make sure you do that, because if I'm teaching you guys how to write these queries and all, you won't understand it if you yourself are not practicing it along the way. So you have to also, after each class, try and practice, or maybe I'll give you guys some things to do. So if you don't have the application installed, how do you plan on doing that? So please make sure you do that before the end of today, if you can.
All
And if you
right.
have any issues, maybe when downloading it or installing it, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp and I'll reply you.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll be starting this class now. I guess this is the people I'm going to work with for today. Others are not ready to join, I guess. So if you're in this class, sorry, let me, before we start the class, so I'll be able to take attendance. Can you like send your names to my WhatsApp DM? Can you send your full names to it, so I'll be able to take attendance and take note of people in this class presently? I'll be giving you maybe like 2 minutes to do that. Just tell me when you're done. All right, good morning, Precious. You're welcome. So I said if you are just joining this meeting, if you are just joining this class, please send your full name to my WhatsApp DM. So I'll be able to take note of you that you joined this class. I have to know the serious ones and the unserious ones, please. Thank you. I'm giving you 2 minutes to do that before we start the class. All right, so we'll be starting this class now without wasting much of our time. And I hope you can all see my screen. This class will be about writing our first query in SQL. So, okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
All right. So let's do a little bit of a recap of SQL. We learned that SQL is stands for structured query language, right? And it is used to create database and manipulate your database. It also allows you to retrieve specific data through queries using English like statements. Like I said, each query is all right. Someone asked me this question about queries. So you guys should not get confused. When I say queries, don't think it's a strange word. It's just something like you're writing codes. In other programming languages, you'll be like, oh, I'm writing code for this language. I'm writing codes, like that term, that language you guys use. I'm coding, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So in SQL, we just call them queries. It's still the same thing. We are referring to the same thing. So when I write SQL codes, that means I'm writing SQL queries. Those commands are referred to as queries. So I hope you get that. And SQL, okay, SQL. It's used to store and manage your data in a relational database management system. And like I said, the relational database management system we'll be using for this class is PostgreSQL. That's the web app I said you guys should install. That's if you've done that, by the way. So for you just joining this call, please send your name to my WhatsApp DM so I'll be able to take note of you. All right. So moving on, let's talk about our first should I say query we'll be writing in SQL. All right, so that's create table statement. Is a statement create table. So from the name, like I said, SQL is just you writing English like statements in form of codes. So create table, from the name, you should be able to know that okay, it is used to create table in the database. Since I said database is like collection of tables, right? That are related in one way or the other. So the create table statement is used to create a new table in a database. it is used to create a new table in the database, and um this is the format in which you write the query, in which you write the code. It is create table, the name of the table you want to create. Then obviously in a table you have two or more columns for it to be a table. So create table, the name of your table, then open parentheses, your open brackets, then the first column you want to be on the table, then the data type of the column, then your second column and the data type for the column, then the third column, as long as many columns as possible you have on the table. That's just how you'll be creating the table. So I'm going to open my PG admin right now. I've opened it already actually, but as you can see, this is my PG admin. So I want to create a table like we discussed in our first class, the introduction. You go to your server, then you should bring out PostgreSQL. Okay, before we create a table, let me delete this. All right. So you navigate to your server, then on that server, you see this PostgreSQL 16. Then you click on that, you see your databases. For you to create your table has to be under a database. So let's create our database first before we create a table. So I will right click on database here, and you see create. I right clicked on it. Okay. Then you see create, then you see database. As simple as that. Then click on database. Now, what's the name you want to name your database? I want to name it Knox class, right? Okay. Knox SQL class. All right. Then you just click on save. As simple as that. All right. So as you can see here now, on this left panel, you can now see database has increased to 8. And you can now see Enoch SQL class under the database. So you can click on that. I've even clicked on it before. Then you go to this query tool on top to write your query. So, all right. So this is it. And we want to create a table. So
We have some more.
that,
Good morning. Good morning.
yes. Good morning.
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen. Is anyone else having the same issue? So can you all see my screen, or is it the only one having that issue?
I can see your
Okay, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay, thank you. So moving on, okay, like I said, you navigate to your query to write your queries. Okay, but for the purpose of this class, we'll be working with a very simple data set, an employee data set. So I want us to like create and start for the purpose of this first class. I want us to create our own table and create our own data that will be in the table. Ah, okay. Sorry. For those of you that said you can't see my screen, can you leave the class and join again, like right now? Let's see if that will resolve your issue. Leave and rejoin the call. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Okay, all right. So, like I said, we'll be working with a specific data set that I've created. So let me, maybe I should send data set to you guys, maybe after the class or something. So this is the data set. I just want to open it so you'll be able to see it. Okay, it's just a very simple data set. in CSV formats in Excel, and this is it. It has just 13 rows, including the headers, and 7 columns. Yes. So when we're talking about columns, for I don't know if you don't know rows and columns and you're in this class, it's very wrong. You should know rows and columns. So columns are all these A, B, C, D, E, F, G that you can see here. And these are the headers of these data sets: employee ID, last name. You should know all that in your Excel class. Don't draw me back. All right. So this is the simple data set we want to work on in SQL. So now let me teach you how we are going to import these data sets into our SQL in pgadmin to write the queries. So first of all, you have to create these headers. These are the headers, these table headers that are here. You have to create them. Let me make it more simple for you. Okay. These are the headers. You can see now that it's highlighted, the colors have changed. You should be able to see it better. Let me increase it. You should be able to see it now very clearly. So these are the headers: employee ID, last name, first name, blah blah blah. These are the headers, and they contain specific data. As you can see, this is text, this is like just the names, this one is like integers, the name is obviously integers. So we have to create the headers in our SQL. So, and we've seen this is the format in which we are writing the query: create table, the name of your table, and the columns and the data type. And the table, this is the name of the table you want to create. Column is the name of the columns that will be on the table, and the data type is the type of data that each column will contain, like I said earlier. So now let's create our table. You write create. The name of this table this data set we are working with is employee data set. So the name of this table, it contains information of employees. So we can say the name of this table is employee. So now create table employee, then open brackets. That's the table name. Create table name. So the table name is employee. Now column 1, what's our first column that we are working with? Go back to your data set. The first column is employee ID. So now let's write that for the name of the column. That's employee ID. Okay, now someone will ask me, why did I put underscore, this dash, this underscore in between employee and ID? Okay, now let me answer that question. The reason is because if you're writing SQL queries, you can't put space. If you're writing the name of a table or the name of a column in SQL, you can't put space there. You only have to use underscores. And if you want to use space, that means you have to write it something like this. You have to write it something like this. You use this apostrophe, then you write employee ID. That's if you want to use space. So it's going to recognize it like that, and it's going to give you the space. But mostly it's advisable to use underscores instead. So you use underscore employee underscore ID. Now, from this, you can see now after column 1 is data type, then column 2 data type, each separated by a comma. So the data type for employee ID from this table, you can see the data type is integer. It's just a bunch of numbers, right? So we'll be using integer, that's int, comma. Then the next one again is last name and first name. Last name and first name. If you did not attend the first class I had with you guys, where I discussed about data type, you can go back and watch the recording. So you won't get confused if I'm saying this data type is text, this one is integer, and this one is virtual. So please do well to watch that recording and understand what data type is, because I'm not going back again. So last name and first name. So last name will have a data type of text, because it's just a bunch of letters, is a string, right? Then first name will have a data type of text too, because it's a string. Then the next column is age, salary. Age and salary should both have integers. So age will have data type of int. Then salary will have data type of int too. And department should have text. Let's put text there and control. Sorry. So departments will have data type of text, and and country will also have data type of text. All right. So let me just do this a bit. Okay, we should be able to see it now. And country will also have data type of text. So that is all. That's just the columns we have. And I guess we fulfilled these requirements for us to create a table. Create table this. So we fulfilled that requirement. All right. We fulfilled that requirement. So let's run this code. This create table employee. So let's run it. Okay, this down part you should see create table, query returned successfully in 65 milliseconds. So that means we've created our table. For you to see it, go to this place, select this drop down, then go to schemas and go to tables. You'll get used to all this very soon. Okay, should see it now. So go to tables. You can see we have one table in this database, and that's employee. That is employee table. All right. So for you to see the table we've created, like you'll be asking me what's the table, we just put headers there. So you can use the select statements to okay. So let me let me see. I'll go back there later. To see the table we've created, I'll talk more about select statements along the line. Just hold on. Select everything from employee. That's the table name. So for you to see the table we've created, highlight it and run the code. Okay, you can see the table now. It is just the headers that is there: employee ID, last name, first name, age, salary, department, and country with the data type underneath it. So that is the table we created for now. All right. So now how can we bring this data that is here, this old data settings we've created here, how can we bring it into our PG admin? All right. So that's our next subtopic. So how to import data in SQL. You can import an existing data to PostgreSQL in just a few steps. Just 3 steps. Not even a few steps. In just 3 steps, you right click on your table under your database, click on import and export data. Then make sure that your data is in a CSV format. Then click on OK. All right, so let's try that. So like I said, you right click on the table. For those of you that can't see this is it, where I went to under the database. This is it, table employee. So I right click on this, then do for import and export. This is import and export data. Then click on that. Then file name, you have to browse for the parts where the you have to browse for the parts where you have the data sets. So you click on this folder icon here, and it's going to bring you to, you have to be the one to navigate to wherever your data set is. But mine is on my desktop. So I'll go down. Okay, yeah, this is it, employee data set. So I'll just click on this and click on open. So it is here already. This is the file path to where the data set is stored. Then the formats, as you can see, we have binary, CSV, and text. But my data set is in a CSV format. So I'll click on CSV format, and the encoding should be UTF-8. Just leave it as it is. Then options, yeah, your table as it does. So this is you toggle this button on. I think it should be there automatically though. I don't think you have anything else to change it. But this delimiter, if your data set is in a CSV format, it is, what's the full meaning of CSV format? It is comma separated values. For those of you that you don't know, now you know. So CSV means comma separated values. So this delimiter is it's comma because CSV is comma separated. You can read this if you want. So that's just it. You don't have to change anything in particular. Then click on OK. All right. So you see these two processes. It shows process started, then later it's brought out process completed. That means we have successfully imported the data. So now let's check the data sets out in PG admin. You select everything from employees, just like bring out your data, your whole data. So run this again. Yes. And now let me put this up. All right. So now you can see your whole data sets here in a clean way, like in a clean format. You can see your table here, employee ID, everything. See the lines, the way it is dividing it. You can see your data set cleanly. Yeah. All right. So we have successfully imported our data into SQL to write queries. So even if you have a data set, like you want to walk around with a data set you got from Cargo, this is just the step you take. You just have to create table, then you create the headers, like these headers here. You have to create them with their data type. Then you just have to import your data sets. The way I right clicked on this, go to import and export data, import it, and that's just it. You see your data sets here. All right, so moving on, you talk about the select statement. So you may have been asking me, okay, I used select statement the first time, I used it again. So what is select statement? From the name select, what is select? You want to bring something out, you want to fetch something, you want to print out something. That's just it, exactly. In other programming languages like Python, when you're talking about prints, so that's just the same thing as select. You want to print these out. So select statement is used to select data from a database. It is select itself. It is to bring out data like and information, that is columns and rows, from a table in the database. A table is made up of columns and rows, right? For it to be a table, it has to have rows, it has to have columns too. So this is the format for it. You write, you have select asterisk from table name. So asterisk represents all columns. You can be like, what is this star used for? This star just means all columns. So let's go back to our our data set here. You can see where I wrote select everything from employee. And if I should run this, it brought out this, like the whole data set, the whole data we have, the rows, all the rows and all the columns. It brought everything out. But if I should use select column one, column two, that's if I don't want to select all the columns and rows, if I don't want to print out all the columns and rows from the table, I will just specify the name of the column I want it to print out. So let's try that here. Let's try that here. That would be select. Okay, let's say we want to print out just the name and the name of the employee and the department the employee is. So that would be select. Then you write the name, the last name, comma. Everything is separated by comma. Then first name, comma, and you also want to put out the department from the name of your table, that's employee. Then highlight it and run it. All right. So you can see it's brought out everything, but not all the columns. You can only see your first name, last name, and the department from the table, from the old table. So that's just the difference. So me using this asterisk is just like save me a lot of time and stress. Because if not, I have to write the names of everything, like last name, first name, age, employee ID, department. I'll have to write everything one by one and separate it by comma. So what if you have like 20 columns, like lots of columns? Will you write everything one by one, one by one? No. So you have to use asterisk. So asterisk just means everything. So asterisk represents all columns from this from keyword that is here. It specifies where you want to retrieve your data from. Like from we all understand English, right? So table name is just a placeholder. Where I put table name, is just a placeholder for. So you have to replace it with the name of your actual table. Okay, now let's talk about these things. These things returns non-duplicate values by removing the duplicates. So let's say, okay, this data set I'm actually working with, I do not have any duplicates there, but these things, um, everything from employee, then you run that, you can see it's still bringing out everything. It's bringing out everything like the old data we have that we imported. And why is that? It's because we don't have any duplicates. If you can go through this data yourself, you can see there is no duplicates. Okay, let me read that. This is the old data set. You can see this, there is no duplicates. They all have different employee ID, different last name. The first name is not the same. The age, although there are some that are the same, but their old data, what I just mean is the old data is not the same. Like it is not the same. All right. So but if you have duplicate values, like let's say this line was repeated somewhere else, like the old data on this line for Kemi was repeated on another line, so it's going to remove the duplicates. So this select distinct, this distinct itself, that's the meaning. It's going to remove the duplicate and it will only print out one Kemi instead of two Kemi, since we have Kemi twice, like our old data was repeated twice. So it's just another form of cleaning your data set. If you want to remove duplicates, instead of removing duplicates in Excel, you can also like remove your duplicates in SQL when you're writing your queries. So this select distance will just remove the duplicates and print out just one of the data if it is more than one. All right. So moving on, let's move on to the next statement. Okay, it's a clause. All right. So we have where clause. Where clause is used to filter out records that fulfills a specific condition. And the where clause can be used with operators. Operators like equals to, greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, and many more like that you don't know of yet, that you will still learn along the line. So this is just a simple query for that. You write select the name of the column you want to print out from the table and you filter out with the where condition, like with the where clause, sorry. So where then your condition, the where clause is always used with operators, like I said. So you can just say maybe you want to select the name of employees from the employee table where the employee is earning more than maybe 70,000 per month. So like I said, where is it comes with a specific condition. So you can't just use where only. You have to use it with a condition. Like there will be a condition where you want that where to actually filter out your data from. So okay, let me discuss these operators first, then we'll use it together with the where clause. So we have the operators. Okay, I said it's used with operators like greater than, equals to, blah blah blah. So they are used with comparison operators. Those greater than, equals to, less than or equals to, all those operators, they are comparison operators. And they are used to compare values and filter out based on conditions. They are used together with the where clause, like I said earlier. So number one, we have equals to. Equals to checks if a value in a column is exactly equal to a specific value. All right, let's practice that. First of all, learn to use comments. I'll be using it for the sake of this class so you don't get confused. So this is a comment like I discussed in our last class. If I use this to dash, not underscore this time, they are not underscore. So this is dash, just two. You can't use one. If you use the two, it will automatically count this as a comment and it won't run it. It's just like a documentation you are giving to your code for you to know what it does at that moment. So yeah, we created our table on this first line. That's it. Then the next line, print out records in a table, print out records in a table, then that's it for this and this. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So all these, just for me to group them, then this is for you to create your table, print out records in a table. And now the where clause, where clause. So we'll be working with the where clause now. So we said equals to, we are working with equals to. The first one, equals to checks if a value in a column is exactly equal to a specific value. That means what was on this left hand side, this department, must be equals to what's on this right hand side. Okay, how do we do that? We'll follow the syntax. Select that means you want to print out something, right? So select all the records, that means all the columns from employee, that's our table name, right? Select all the records from this table, employee, where the where clause, right? Where the department equals to sales, according to that example, where the department is equals to, then a single quotes, then sales, where the department equals to sales. So if I run this now, let's see, you can see it's brought out only two records. And why is that? Because it's only these two people that are in the sales department in that company. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hope you guys are following me. So it's because it's only these two people that are under the department sales. Okay. So that's it for the where clause. You can also check out not equals to. Okay. Then, mind you, let me copy this. I want to explain some. Okay. So let's say I did not use capital letter here and I use small letter. You can ask me, is it going to work? Because in our data set, as you can see, the sales was in capital letter. But now I use small letter for the sales, if you notice. And it did not bring out anything. It only print out the heading. It not bring out anything because equals to means it has to be equal, it has to be exactly equal to the other one you get. So it did not print it out. So we can also try out not equals to. That will be select records from employees where the department, let's just do the opposite, is not equals to, is not equals to be apostrophe exclamation mark, sorry, exclamation mark, then equals to, then you write sales. That's the opposite, right? Then you run this and you can see it's printed out other departments that are not sales, people that are not in the sales departments. So for this one, you can also use this, instead of using exclamation mark equals to, you can also use less than and greater than. It's the same thing to make it look more professional, I guess. So it's also the same. You can see it's printed out the same thing. All right. So we also have less than and greater than. All right. Let me try that. That would be, for example, you can select records from the table employee where their salary, you want to know employees that are earning more in the company, where the salary is greater than 100,000. Mind you, this salary is in dollars. I mean, how will I earn 70,000 per month? Is it enough? So let's say you want to select records of employees that earn more than 100,000 in the company. You can run this code. It's still the same thing. You can see it's brought out only one person is the richest employee out of everyone because he earns $135,000 monthly. All right, so Yeah, because then $135,000 monthly. So it's still the same. You see the way clause select. You just have to select the depends. If you don't want to select everything, I can say okay. Let me work with less than. Sorry. Okay. You can say I want to select just the name. Let me say first name from employee where the salary is less than, let me say, 70,000. Okay, where the salary is less than 70,000 now. If I run this, you can see it's brought out only the first name because that's what I asked for. I can even say, okay, I mean, from the first name, I can't even conclude what department they are and the salary. So I can ask for the department and the salary too. So I'll be able to understand the data better, right? So you can see it now. It's brought out the first name and the department and the salary of employees that are earning less than 70,000. You can see there's 69,000 there, but I said less than, not less than or equals to. If I add equals to now, if it's less than or equals to, and I run it, it's yes, there is now someone of 70,000 in the IT department. You understand? So moving on, we have order by and group by clause. Okay. Moving on, we have order by and group by clause. Order by is used to sort values in ascending or descending order. It sorts it alphabetically, either or numerically or by dates, depending on what you want it to sort. Okay, so now let's try that. I'll bring this down. Okay. Now I want to work with order by clause. So for you to do that, you see, select the row, the column you want to select from your table, then order it by how you want it to arrange the data. That's just it. Whether you want it to arrange it in ascending or descending order. So I write select everything from employee, select from employee, then order by we want to arrange it in. First of all, let me show you the data. Okay, this is the full data. You can see Oliver is the first. Oliver Chen, Nadi, Yemi Funke is the first. So let's say we want to order it by last name. Last name should be in ascending order for it to be alphabetically. So you're supposed to start counting our last name from like A, B, C, D, like that. You're supposed to arrange it like that. So let's run this. You can see the data has changed completely. You can see our last name. Now we have Adebayo Kunle as the number one employee, followed by AAA. Then we have B, starting with Balogun. Then we have Ima, Lily, Mohammed, Oliver. Yakubu is the last because his name starts with Y. His last name starts with Y. So it's arranged this last name in ascending order, starting with A with their corresponding data. So it also shifted all these age, salary, and the likes too with the name of the person. And if you want it to be in okay, for example, now let's say it's the salary we were working with. You want to know start with the person that is getting the highest salary. So the person that is getting the least salary, you can order it by salary in instead of ascending. ASC is like the short form for ascending order, and you can also use descending. Descending is just DESC. Then you run this and you have this. So now you can see it's no more arranging it by their last name because I changed the query to arrange by the salary. So you can see now the person's earning the highest salary starts the table is the one on the top. Then this is the person earning the least salary, $45,000, Emma Johnson. So it's just as simple as that. It's very straightforward. Then we have the group by clause. The group by clause is just like group your rows that have the same value into like summary rows, and they are used with aggregate functions like count, max, min, and so on. All right, so let me just go straight to the aggregate functions perform calculations on a set of values and they return a single value. Aggregate functions and the group by clause, they are used together. So number one, we have count. Count is different from sum. Take note of that. Count is different from sum. Sum is like addition. Why count is to count the number of rows, or in our case, let me say number of people, except null values. As you can see, except null values. So if that place is empty, it won't count it. But our data sets, there is nowhere is empty there. So moving on to aggregate functions. So we have select everything from employee. Normally, okay, sorry, we're talking about count, sorry. So it's not everything you can count. You want to count everything from employee, from the table employee. If you have a condition, yeah, count, you can also use it with a condition, like okay, maybe where what if you have a condition, like count it where the salary is this or that, but we are not following a condition, we are using it with the group by. Right, so with group by, you want to group the count by maybe the department. Yes, when I run this, you understand what I mean. So group by the department. So what this code is supposed to do now is count the number of people in each department. Exactly. Yes, that's what I'm supposed to say. Count number of people in each department. Okay, but I said everything. Count the first name and print out the department. It's because I did not specify number of columns I wanted to print out. So now that I've specified it, yes, you can see it now. So you have departments: marketing, operations, human resource, management, sales, IT, and customer service. You can see in finance, we have two people in finance, and in management, we have two, sales two, and IT to two people. We have in those departments. Then you can also minimum salary, maximum salary. So that would be select minimum or salary from the employee. You can group by, if it's necessary, group by um first name. Okay, I have to first. Okay, you can see your minimum salary is 45,000 from the data set. If you now want to know who had the minimum salary, like who was the person with the minimum salary, you can also like print, apart from the salary, you want to print out the person's first name and last name if you want, from the employee, and then you run this. Yes, goodbye. Like I said, it works with group by. You can see it's brought out the zero because it's not used, the aggregate function is not used with a group by. So group by the first name. All right, so it's brought the minimum it's brought out the minimum salary for each of them, the salary they had in each department at that time. I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush this because the call will soon end. Then you also have sum and average. They work the same, just the same thing. You can select you want to add salary, okay, sum salary. You want to know the total salary the company is going to pay all the employees at the end of each month. So you just select sum, like you want to add salary, is whatever is in the bracket, the sum is going to work on. So you can see we have $795,000 here. So that's the total salary the company is paying to all their employees. Um, okay, we also have average. Select average of the salary. You want to know the average salary, so it doesn't have to be in caps lock. You have to select the average salary from employee. Okay, so this is the average salary the company is paying. Like the average, average is just you adding all the salaries together and divide by the total number of people they are paying salary to. So this is the average. That's $66,250. Okay, something like that. So that's the average salary they are paying. For us to format, you can see 0.0000. We will discuss that in other class for us to know how to do that. So I guess this is the end of the class. Is there any question or something, like just for me to take notes? Then okay, mind you, if you've not sent your name to my WhatsApp DM, please do so. Make sure you send your name to my DM so I'll be able to take note of you that attended this class and at least stayed to the end of the class. So please make sure you send your name to my WhatsApp DM if you've not done so. If you have any questions, you can drop them on the group and I'll address it. Or if you want to drop them in my WhatsApp DM, you can do that since this call will be ending soon. All right. So hope you all gained something, one or two from the class.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So have a nice day and send your questions to the group. If you have any questions, send them to the group. Take care and have a nice day.
You too, ma.